Good afternoon, Patriots. This is the American Vision, broadcast on the TLBTV network and brought to you by the Liberty Beacon Project. I'm your host, Bill Muckler, and I'm coming to you from Cocoa, Florida, my home studio in Cocoa, Florida, located on Florida and America's beautiful Space Coast. So today we have a show that is really going to be for vets and people who want to help vets. And this is really a very important topic for all of us. So if you're a vet or you're somebody who really has a strong feeling for helping our vets and our heroes when they come home from combat, our active duty personnel, then you're going to want to tell everybody to be sure to watch this show, because I'm really humbled and honored to have with me someone who's really doing something about helping vets. And she is such a humble person. She described herself on our phone conversations as being just a cowgirl, but she's much more than that. She's an American hero. So I want to introduce to you the founder and leader of Valor for Veterans, Tracey Nazarenus. Tracey, welcome to the show.
Well, hey, it's great to be here today. Thanks for having me, and that was a very nice and gracious interview.
Well, it was well-deserved. So, Tracey, we've talked on the phone quite a few times, and I've gotten to know pretty much about your organization, but I really don't know a whole lot about you other than you're coming to us from Colorado, and I'm in Florida. So even with the time zone change, there's a lot of land in between us, and Colorado is really a lot different than Florida is. So you live on a ranch, from what I understand. Tell us a little bit about your background and kind of who you are, and so that people can get to know you.
Well, sir, I live on a ranch out here in Colorado in the eastern portion, and we have 9 horses and 8 dogs, and we are real cowboys and cowgirls out here. I am the president and founder of Crusaders, Valor for Veterans, which is the veterans program we're here to discuss today. Our son was a veteran of the Afghan War, and he came back, and I had a lot to learn. And I think that we need to wake up this country and our communities and to helping veterans.
So it was because of your son, I guess, you learned a lot about what happens when veterans come home. And some veterans come home and everything is great, and others come home and I've had one veteran tell me they feel like they're damaged goods. So we've had this whole range of thousands of veterans coming home that fit in somewhere in between the hey, no problem to lots of problems. And what you're trying to do, and I shouldn't say trying, what you are doing is you're helping those vets that need to get on their feet or need a helping hand, that are trying very hard to make a go of it in civilian life.
Yes, sir. That's exactly what I am trying to do. The veterans, they come home and, they have a brotherhood code when they are serving. They are close. They know each other. And they come back to a society that lives with their cell phones, where, how many likes you got on your Facebook post is more important than knowing your neighbors or even having a dinner conversation. They don't even care about having friends anymore. And I think that starts them behind right when they walk back into our society, which is disconnected with each other in general.
So you decided that you were going to help vets assimilate into American, back in the American civilian life. And what gave you the idea to found Valor for Veterans?
Well, I think God certainly gave me a mission, and it changes, and every day I wake up and I'm not really sure what his plan is, but it's just there. So God, wow. It is a calling is what it is. And Valor for Veterans is a program that helps veterans. We don't give them a hand out, we give them a hand up. And we try to help them get their confidence back. we have found that most veterans in today's society, they get one little thing that goes wrong in their life. I mean, which to us we can deal with, but to them it's like instant failure. And like rent, utilities, food. I mean, things that are basic necessities in life. When they don't have it, they don't know what to do. It freaks them out, and therefore, Valor for Veterans was created to be a program in which to help with these emergency triage issues.
And what you're describing to me is something I talk about on my shows all the time, and in my writings, is the real American spirit. And that real American spirit is one of independence, not one of dependence. So when these vets come back, they don't want to be dependent, they want to be independent. But in many cases, what people don't understand is a lot of the veterans that come back, our men and women, are really young boys and girls who went in the service when they were 18 years old, 19 years old, and they're in combat and in war zones, and they're not 30 and 40-year-old grizzled veterans. They're guys and gals who are like 18, 19, 20 years old, and they've been trained extremely well in the military, but they haven't had the opportunity to, and the experience and exposure to be in civilian life at that young age without really having any experience past high school.
Well, and I think what you're trying to get at there is when they go into the military, everything is structured for them. They eat at the same time. They do everything at a very structured time. And they come back to, the States and into society. And all of a sudden, it's more of do what you want. And I think it's a very overwhelming that consumes and it doesn't help their post-traumatic stress. So they come back and they don't know how to connect with us, and we don't know how to connect with them. That's what I'm trying to change.
Yeah, and you're certainly being very successful at it. So what happens, we talked on the telephone earlier today, this morning, and you told me, I think you had 5 new cases come in just overnight?
Yes, sir. My husband and I took our puppies out for a 1-mile walk, and I came back and checked, and we had 5 veterans requests come in. I mean, we're talking all over the country. California, I think one was in Arizona, Florida, Illinois, Texas. I mean, 5 all the way across electric bills. One was going to have their power turned off today if we didn't turn it back on. A lot with no food. One with 7 children, and he can't pay their rent. So, I mean, these are important things, and we try to get to them within 12 to 24 hours. We try to reach out, call them, connect with them, prove that they are who they say they are. We do validate everybody that comes through the program, and then we go from there. We put the stories up on the website, so you can go to valorforveterans.us. Veterans We Help, you can see the veterans right there, their picture, their own stories in their own words, and what Crusaders Valor for Veterans is going to attempt to do for them. And then when we do it, we post how much we spend on each veteran.
So everything is totally transparent. And what you're also saying is that this is not localized just in Colorado. It is nationwide, coast to coast. And you're helping vets with their immediate problems, but also something that many of us are concerned about. I know here in Florida, we have some people who are not vets, who are imposters, and who are trying to get people to donate money to them or do all sorts of things for them. We find out that they're not really vets at all. So you're validating everyone, but you're also making sure that the vets have a plan for the future. In other words, you're just not going to say, okay, I'm going to help you today. You're going to help them become independent in the future, and they have to have a plan.
Yes, sir. So the name of the program is Full Circle Fresh Start Pay It Forward. So in the start, part of what we need to know is, how did you get here? How did you get to this location today? And therefore, when they tell us, we can figure it out. If we don't know how you got there, we don't know how to get you to not go back there again. So we start with that question, and then we do the emergencies. You know, if you don't have food, we need food at your house right away. And we do Walmart. We order it from Walmart and they pick it up from Walmart nationwide. If your utilities are going to be turned off, that's an emergency. If you're sitting in the dark and you're calling us, we're going to try and have your power on like right away. So those were emergency needs. Then we look to a little bit longer term needs. You know, do you need your VA benefits turned up? I mean, do you need, you know, what other things do you need to do that's, you know, to do that? And so we try to validate what they need. You know, DD 214, they need their member 4 copy, you know, valid driver's license. I mean, we really try to make sure that the veterans, the people applying are who they say they are, right? Because that's important for the donors to understand that they are truly helping veterans with real issues that we have vetted. We have talked to their bill collectors. We pay the bills. We do not give any veteran any money for anything, okay? And then on the other side, we want to be 100% transparent for the donors so they can go on the website and see where every single dime goes. So there's nobody that can say, well, that program does this or that. No, no, no. It's right there on the website. There is no other program that does 100% transparency like we do.
And that's really important for everyone to know, because I've researched a lot of the charities that look on paper like they're really great, and yet I find out that maybe as little as 10% is actually going to the cause they represent, and 90% is going to executives' big salaries and the phone center callers, large commissions, and for the donations and so forth. And yet you have built up a group of volunteers that, you know, you're not making 6-figure salaries, are you?
I'm not making a salary at all. So I am totally not making a salary. Nobody on the staff is making a salary. We don't have any expensive toys or vehicles or airplanes or offices or any of that kind of stuff. You donate to the veterans that need the money, that need something paid for: rent, utilities, food. And that is exactly where the money goes to. And it drives me crazy when I see, wow, you know, this program made $11 million in the last few years. And I'm like, what did they do with that money? I mean, that's insane. It's great that someone's donating, but I think people need to know who and what they're donating to and for.
You know, Tracey, when you look at a lot of these organizations and the millions and multi-millions of dollars they bring in, and you wonder, how could there possibly be a vet still in distress or still having troubles? And I think it's because of what you're saying, is they just, that money's not actually going to the places it's supposed to be going to. And I don't want to disparage any other organizations helping vets, but there's just so many that misrepresent themselves. And I'm just so thrilled that, you know, you're doing this from a completely different point of view. And I also want to let everybody know, because I know this myself, even though I'm not directly helping vets, I'm indirectly doing a lot. And it costs a ton of money to be able to have a website and to be able to do all this, and, you know, just all the background expenses that you have. And so Tracey has all those expenses herself, but she's not receiving money for to cover all that. So that's where the transparency is.
Well, we should give credit where credit is due. Commonwealth Capital and Sprocket Networks is the one. They do all that. So that helps. That is not a bill because of those two amazing companies. They put the internet up. They post those stories. They help keep the 100% transparency going. I mean, Paul was sitting in the dark this morning. His power's on. His story's up on the website. And I just got notification that his power's back on and how much it cost. So I will update the website, send them that, and say, hey, this is what we sent to put Paul's electricity back on. So
your response is instantaneous, and you don't have a bureaucracy to go through to determine all these things, do you?
No, sir. I don't believe in bureaucracy. That's crazy. To me, if you're not involved, you don't have an opinion in the conversation. So when they come in, I follow my gut. That I ask God every night to guide me, my heart, my soul, and my gut, and I truly follow it. When I read those requests, I send them out to either Kathy, Crystal, or Patricia. They contact the vet within a few hours, within the day. We know what we're dealing with, and then we try to solve their immediate problems. And then, of course, like you said, we want to know what their plan is for next month. So if this is July and I'm helping you with July's rent, I need to know, sir, how are you going to do this in August? What is your plan going forward? I mean, what do we need to do? Is your job okay? Are your benefits okay? I mean, that's kind of why we try to make this a full circle, fresh start, pay it forward.
Yeah, and that's really important because with most vets, from what I've learned, is the day that their power, their utilities are going to be shut down, or they can't afford to go to the grocery store, or whatever their need is, that just didn't happen overnight. That was something that's been building up over the last few months. And so you're really, I guess, giving them some counseling and forcing them to think ahead as what can I do to change the things that have gotten me to this point, so in the future I can become more independent.
Yes, and we give them future resources just in case. But again, it's the full circle, fresh start that is really important. And 22 veterans commit suicide a day. And I truly believe, after doing this now for a solid year of interacting with veterans from across this entire country, it's the little things that really, really start to propel into the big thing, that they don't see any hope. And so therefore they give up. And if we can get them and be proactive, which means my women are out on the Facebook, they're looking at these Facebook pages and they're seeing these veterans in need. And if they're complaining and they're sad and they're upset, we're reaching out prior to a suicide attempt and saying, hey, please go to valorforveterans.us and fill out a request form. But here's the newsflash. The veterans are getting it, but the donations and donors, society is not getting it. I think that our society truly believes that the VA is helping our veterans take care of everything. And they aren't, they can't, okay? So we need to let everybody out there know that the veterans are not getting help with these emergency needs, and therefore that is why they are taking their lives. So let's start getting them their needs and faster.
Okay, I don't want this to turn into a VA bashing session, but let me give you my experience. And for those of you who know me and have read my book, you know that I devoted a chapter in my book 2020, A Clear Vision for America, to the VA, and I exposed all the corruption and the bloated bureaucracy of the VA and how little help they give. But I not only did tons and tons of research that I did on .gov type websites, but I also have a lot of personal experiences. For example, my son can't get help from the VA, and a lot of his buddies that served on active duty with him over the past 20 years, they can't get help either. Or if they do, they're told they have to wait 6 months to get an appointment, or they call up and it takes 4 hours to talk to somebody, and then they talk to somebody who can't speak English and can't help them and tell them. And a lot of times their calls get dropped when they call in. And I can tell you myself, if I want to get my wallet out, I can show you my VA card, and guess what? I'm not eligible for VA benefits, and the reason is because my Social Security is just a few dollars more than what their artificial limit is. That says if you make more money than this, you're not eligible for VA veterans. Today, I accompanied the lovely Lainey to a doctor's appointment, and while I was there, a retired veteran came in, and he looked to me like he was maybe about in his 40s or something like that, just retired. And he was asking if he could get TRICARE help and just trying to find someone who could help him in our area. So this is really going on, and I'm sure that there are some vets that get some decent help and responsive help from some VA services or some VA clinics or hospitals, but the vast majority, it's up to us to help them. So Tracey, I guess what I'm getting to is, what can we do, and all our viewers and the viewers who are going to tell other friends and family and neighbors, what can they do to help you, to help the vets?
Well, I think we need to look at everything as a bigger picture, okay? So the VA does not have the resources to help all of our veterans. I think that we should all get that by now, right? I mean, that's obvious to you, it's obvious to most people. And therefore, what we need to do is, Valor for Veterans wants to go bigger and better. We want to help veterans hundreds a month, okay? We have a system that's in place that rolls them in and rolls them out. That's what we want to do. We need people that care to donate. And you don't have to worry about where the money's going for. You can go on the website at valorforveterans.us and you can see where your money went. There's nothing in between. So, I mean, the website people, Commonwealth and Sprocket Networks, they are amazing. There's no cost there. So everything that you're sending in is going toward the veteran who can't pay their rent, that can't do something. So we need people out there to help us help the veterans.
Okay. What about someone who's, say, retired and wants to do some kind of community service or something to help someone? Can they help you or join your organization or be a part of what you do?
Yes, sir, absolutely. So if you go to valorforveterans.us, we have a volunteer, get an account as a volunteer, and you sign up and you put your information in. It is a secure site. We don't give out anybody's emails, but it tells us what city and state you're in, and it even has a drop-down menu where you can check to see what you want to do, you know, deliver groceries, do help them with their bookkeeping, you know, whatever it is that you feel skilled to do, you can volunteer in your state.
Oh, that's really wonderful. So I would think that you would like to get a lot more people involved in this because if you're going to be helping hundreds across 50 states, you're going to need some additional folks. And I know that there's a lot of people that want to help and want to do something. They just don't know how to go about it. So going to your website, and I know that you're accessible because we've talked times, and you were always available to speak to me.
I'm always available. The cell phone number, obviously the location is off, but the number is access. I do not believe a nonprofit organization should be run off of an email. I think that is a cheap way out. So the phone is on, or one of my advocates' phones is available, so someone's going to answer the call. Nothing makes me more crazy than when you call the VA and they say, if you are having thoughts of suicide, please hang up and dial 1. Like, really? That can't be a push number 1 and get to somebody to talk to. So no, I don't believe in that. I answer my telephone, and we are here for the veterans. Okay,
and this video is going to be embedded in an article. It'll have all that information, but still in all, would you like to give out your cell phone number now in case somebody just sees a video and it doesn't have access to the article?
Oh, absolutely. So the cell phone number that goes directly to Crusaders Valor for Veterans is 303-324-7096. 303-324-7096.
And of course, people can find that number on your website. And tell us what your website is again.
The website is Valor for Veterans, all one word, .us. Okay, valorforveterans.us, and you'll be able to go on there. The phone number's on there, the request for help on there, donates on there, in the volunteer position. We need volunteers. boots on ground is the #1 thing to making veterans know that they're cared about. So without boots on the ground, if somebody can't pick up their groceries from Walmart, I would be great to be able to call up and say, hey, can you go get so-and-so's groceries and drop them at their apartment? You know what I mean? So that's why everything is so open and transparent across everything we do. I want to be the new way veterans organizations are run, thought of, and looked at. And I don't intend to change anything, whether someone likes it or doesn't like it. So it is what it is.
Yeah, the true American spirit. You've got a plan, and you're going to go ahead with it. And I guess the real help you need is some volunteers. You also need some people to help raise some funds. And with our economy being better, and we have to quit relying on the government to do everything for us. And because Americans are so generous, and you talked about, God's plan for you. We go to church, and we're true Christian believers ourselves, and we know that so many people are so generous, and boy, when they hear somebody's in need, they step up. And I'm surprised with all the people that step up and help out, whether it's money, or if it's clothes, or if it's furniture. I mean, we got all kinds of things going on here in Brevard County in Florida like that. And that's just so important that everybody get on board. And I hope that everybody will want to get on board with Tracey and Valor for Veterans, and be sure to go to that website, www.valorforveterans.us, and you can learn all about this, and all the information is there, and you can volunteer. And what else do we need to tell the people about?
Well, I think it's really simple to remind everybody that we are the home of the free because of the brave. These men and women sacrificed for us to live the lifestyles in which we all live. I cannot believe that I haven't found a corporation or company yet that comes forward and says, you know what, I want to be the sponsor of this, and I want to be able to show that our donor dollars and people that help us and shop at our store or shop online at our industries, that they can use these stories and say, this is what we do with our extra money, is we actually do work with a program that is 100% transparent, and they can use that to their advantage because they don't have to explain where their money is going. It's all there on the website. It keeps it very simple. So, we are free, and it's time for everybody in America to wake up. The VA cannot help these veterans. We have to help these veterans, and that's for the opportunity to pay it forward. So, I just want to thank you and for giving us the opportunity, and I want to thank all of your viewers that know of me. And I got to I have to give a shout out to LinkedIn, because I have 26,000 followers, and we have raised thousands of dollars because of them. So, wow, LinkedIn is amazing, and so is everybody on it, and Commonwealth Capital and Sprocket Networks for making our website possible. It's amazing teamwork.
Now, you mentioned LinkedIn, and we've talked about that before, and I'm remiss in not thinking about it. But when someone goes to your webpage, they can. Is there a link on there for LinkedIn?
Absolutely, but you can also just put my name in. Go to LinkedIn and put in Tracey Nazarenus, and my LinkedIn is a public profile. I don't have anything to hide. It's got all this everything on there, and including the email, the websites. So, and people can see exactly what we're doing. And my fellow followers and connections on LinkedIn, wow, do they like to donate? They really go the extra mile, but they can't continue to do it alone when we're getting 5 requests in one evening and 4 requests on Friday night. And I mean, the requests are coming in. We need everyone across the country to go on the website, believe in what we're doing, okay? So they understand its transparency. There's nothing to hide. And I think that's what's wrong with the veterans programs today is people don't know where to donate. Like you said, how much on the dollar goes toward the veteran. and how much goes toward overhead.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I'm going to encourage everybody to do what I'm going to do. As soon as this show's over, I'm going to go on to LinkedIn, because I have a LinkedIn account, and I think I've got maybe 700 or 800. And how many do you have? 26,000?
Almost 27,000.
Almost 27,000. And you're also on Facebook and Twitter and social media. And of course, the vets that need help need to contact you on your telephone number. So, Tracey, thank you so much for being a guest on the American Vision. I really love what you're doing, and you're really doing God's work by helping our vets, because they're the ones who have done so much for us. And when they come back,
Are you back?
I'm back. I don't know what happened, if I lost internet for a few seconds or whatever, but everything just went blank. So anyway, I guess that's someone telling us that we've talked enough, and now it's time for action. And you've woken everybody up, but not only are we waking them up, but you're actually enlightening them, so they know what to do and where to go, how to go about it, the who, what, where, why, when, etc. So anyway,
together we can make a difference, and actions do speak louder than words. So thank you for your service. It's very kind to do, but it's not going to help these veterans that need help across the country. So do both. Thank them for their service, and then put your actions to work.
and thank you for all you're doing for us, because and for our vets who are returning to civilian life. So I'll just end this part of our show by saying, God bless you, Tracey. Thank you so much for what you're doing, and God bless America. God bless our vets.
Yes, well, God bless you too, and I hope that people start to realize that God has this plan, and I'm following God's plans, and the big picture is to all of us to get involved and all of us to pay it forward to our veterans. So God bless America, and God bless you for having me and giving me a chance to tell about Valor for Veterans, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Thank you for being a guest. You've been wonderful, and your message has been outstanding. It's just awesome what you're doing.
Well, thank you, sir. You have a wonderful afternoon, and I'm glad your audience took the time to listen.
We're back, and I hope you enjoyed our show today. Our guest was truly outstanding. What an awesome a lady who's doing so much to help our vets. So for all of you who really love and appreciate what our active duty personnel have done, what our fallen heroes have done, what our veterans are doing and coping with coming back and getting into civilian life, I want to thank you for anything you can do to help this cause. And as you can see, I put the webpage logo back behind me. I don't know how well you can see it or anything, but I just myself, I just paused, and I just went directly to www.valorforveterans.us. And it came right up, and what a great web page. All the information is there. I truly want you to check it out, and be sure that you get involved and help Tracey and all the rest of her volunteers. And I've talked to some of them, and they're truly wonderful people who are doing everything they can to help our vets out, not doing anything for themselves. They're just giving, just like what we believe the American spirit is all about. So anyway, also what I'd like you to do is get my book. If you haven't read my book, you need to read it, because there's so many things happening in America today, and I hear all these news stories, and everybody's dividing America and talking about how everybody's a victim and everything is somebody else's fault. And in my book, I cover all these issues, and I have a solution for every one of them. And if we did what's in the book, we would not have the America we have today. We would have an exceptional republic that we truly need and deserve to have. And so we have a president who wants to make America great again. And I know he stole that from me because I came up with the 2020 vision was to make America an exceptional republic. I said our goal was to restore American exceptionalism. So that got taken down into, I guess, a little bit easier thing to fit on a red baseball cap. So anyway, get my book and find out why the VA is a bloated bureaucracy that's got hundreds of thousands of people who do nothing to help anyone, and find out why this corrupt tax system and Social Security system we have is just bankrupting America and taking our spirit away from us, about the true immigration spirit, immigration plan that I have, the only plan that will really work. And remember, I even defied people to come up with a better plan than me. And if you do, I'll give you $13,000 if you can come up with a better immigration plan than I have. So anyway, that's my pitch for my book. And really, the whole idea of today's show, though, of course, is to help Tracey and her people, those wonderful volunteers who are doing everything to help our veterans. So again, God bless America, God bless our vets, and God save our America, because we need you now more than ever before.